Okay, with moms, my main audience are moms.
Yeah.
And there is the belief that eating clean is expensive. What advice do you have for those on a budget feeding a family?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is making an investment in your healthcare and your wellness really begins not with the pharmacy, but with the grocery store. So it's what we eat. And yes, there is a myth or a belief that eating clean is expensive, but I feel that eating clean can be done in a way to be sensitive to budget. So I practice things like eating locally, because when I eat locally, I know I haven't had to pay for the transport fees from Peru for that first bunch of asparagus, say, which is hugely expensive. Not to mention all the other carbon footprint elements that go with that. So I eat locally. I try to visit local farmers so I know where the food is coming from and what they've done to get it to me. There's no extra packaging, so I just put it all in my basket, or and so that saves costs. I buy bulk. When food is in season, so I like to eat in season, meaning I'm going to be, what is it, we're now in August, so oh my God, the garden is exploding. You've got tomatoes, zucchini, you've got peppers, greens, kale, it's all coming out, right? So you eat what's in season. I'm not going to eat, let's say, blueberries, fresh blueberries in the middle, like January. They're a delicacy, plus they cost a fortune to get there. So don't do that. Freeze when they're in season, right? Get your blueberry crop in August and throw it in the freezer. Eat fresh while you can, but that's how I do it. I also cook in bulk, so I do planned leftovers, right? I'm never going to boil one egg. I'm boiling the dozen. I'm going to make 6 chicken breasts. But what I want, a great cut of meat for chicken is thighs, because they're very nutrient dense with minerals. We're severely demineralized as a nation. So the darkness of the thigh meat indicates the presence of zinc and other minerals, and that's really important for nutrition. Plus, they're a cheaper cut usually.
Good to know.
Yeah, and try to buy your meats if you're going to eat meat, also in bulk, so that you can get a better cost. I did buy a grass-fed. I sort of invested in a grass-fed animal, and, and got the bones. Don't throw anything away. I make bone broth soup all the time. That is a hugely nutritious benefit for, especially for young moms, nursing moms. Very critical to get that nutrition, and I have my recipes on toscareno.com. So that's one way to do it. Or if you're vegan and vegetarian, you can also practice getting protein, which is usually the most expensive macronutrient. I do lots with hemp, Manitoba hemp harvest. I love kelp. Don't overlook kelp noodles. They're super high in protein, and they're so easy. It's like it is a seaweed, and you probably think at first glance, ew, who would eat that? But they're excellent, and you just have to kind of get over the, I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's a cheap source. Nuts, I have this awesome recipe that I make with quinoa, which is a high-profile protein ingredient. So I put quinoa with hemp, grated sweet potato, grated carrot, grated onion, lots of goodies. The recipe's amazing, and I make quinoa cakes.
The links
you will love, and I love them hot or cold. And that also cuts down the price. So there's so many ways to get around this idea of expensive. And also, here's the other thing. Notice how you can sit down, and some people just go right for it and eat a whole bag of chips. You can't overeat nutrient-dense whole foods. When are you going to sit down and eat 4 whole beets? You're not going to do it. Right? Like after 1, you're done. So I also feel like you don't need as much to fill yourself up. And
so
then
the costs stay down.
The big one is the cereal aisle. When was the last time you looked at the cereal aisle? It's overwhelming what's present there, right? So you buy, say, the big family-sized box of Cheerios. But there's a lot of processed food in there, a lot of sugar, not good for your health. It's also an expense, but you're kind of seduced into buying it. I don't do that. I go right over to the bag of oatmeal, because in that box of cereal, of Cheerios, you might get, I don't know, 20 servings. But in the oatmeal, you've got at least 50 nutrient-dense servings. And they don't have any processed ingredients in most bags of oatmeal. Don't buy the sugary kind or the instant kind. It's so much cheaper. So you find ways to trade off. In fact, I talk about lots of budget-conscious shopping decisions on my website, so it's easy to find information on how to eat clean and do it budget-friendly.
As she's a nutritionist, so she loves giving a ton of information out. How would you, I have for busy moms, how do you empower, what do you teach moms that are busy to empower themselves to look and feel their best?
Do not put yourself at the bottom of the heap. Make yourself a priority, although this feels counterintuitive when you are a new young mother, because that little child needs all of your care and loving. You actually will be a better parent, a more fulfilled parent, if you take care of yourself too. So, because I believe self-care is the new health-care. And we have a responsibility to ourselves to take care of ourselves. Now, what good is it going to be if mom doesn't take care of herself, or dad, if dad's taking care of the children, and they become ill, and they cannot give love and give every basic need of life to their children. So it's actually a very healthy thing to take care of yourself first. You know, like when you're on the plane and they say, with the oxygen mask, put it on you first and then on your child.
Right.
You're not going to be able to help anybody if you're done.
Right.
So fill your bucket, nourish yourself. Children are resilient.
Right.
You haven't neglected them if you make time to take a shower and put your clothes on and eat a decent meal. That's not neglect.
And
That's
wear a rainbow
self-care.
underwear.
And wear
rainbow
rainbow
underwear.
Exactly. And lift the rope for your sisters. That means if you have strength and love to share and you see one of your sisters struggling, lift the rope. Let her in. Put your arms around her. It's always better together.